Modifiers. So this is a very special topic. Please focus, and if you have any doubt also, you can ask me, stop me there. So what is modifiers? So modifiers are reserved keywords. When you add these keywords, meaning will change for that. Okay, meaning will change for that. Please mute. Right. Thank you. So modifiers are reserved keywords. When you add them to any entity, that entity meaning will change. That's the modifiers. So modifiers are two types: access modifiers, non-access modifiers. So non-access modifiers, basically, they won't control any access level, just provide the functionality, that's it. A different purpose you will use this non-access modifiers. But this is not going to provide any access level and accessibility. And what are these non-access modifier keywords? Final, static, abstract, volatile, and transient. So these are the different non-access modifier keywords. What are the non-access modifier keywords? Final, static, abstract, volatile, transient. So non-access modifier keywords just for a different purpose, not going to provide any access levels. So what are the non-access modifier keywords? Final, static, abstract. These are the three major keywords we are going to use. So I'm going to discuss all these three keywords so very elaborately. And what are access modifiers? So access modifiers set the accessibility of classes, methods, interfaces, variables, and constructors. So what the access modifiers will do? They will set the visibility, they will set accessibility, where you can access the class, method, variable, constructor, and method, where you cannot access. Who will control everything? By these access modifier keyword. That's what we are saying, access modifiers. So accessibility, visibility. So based on this accessibility, you can access them in different places and different classes, different packages, different projects, and all these permissions are given by these access modifier keywords. So what are the different access modifier keywords? We have 4 access modifier keywords. So what are those? Public, private, protected, default. So what are those 4 access modifier keywords? Public, private, protected, default. So public, private, protected, default. These are the access modifier keywords. So access modifier means you should remember only these 4. You should not think of any other keywords. So when you use these keywords, what will happen? Let's go and see one by one. Okay. So these are the 4 keywords. See the accessibility. When you use a public, so these declarations are visible everywhere. When you make any class, method, variable, constructor as a public, where you can see them everywhere. Entire project, you can use them. So there is no restriction on the public. That's the public, means publicly you can use anywhere that class, that method, that variable, that constructor. So there is no restrictions on the public keyword if you apply on the class, method, variable, and constructor. So where you can use this public keyword? On the class you can use. You can declare a class as a public. You can declare a method as a public. You can declare a variable as a public. You can declare constructor also as a public. So what is meant by public if you declare? Those can be accessible everywhere. So they are visible everywhere. There is no restriction on these things. That's the access modifiers means. See this. So you all know you are using a Facebook. So when you update your Facebook status, it gives you 4 options, right? Public, friends, only me, or friends of friends or something like that, right? So what is meant by public? So anyone on the Facebook, they can see you. That's the meaning of public. You know already this status, right? Public means if you make the status visible for public, anyone can see the status on internet. So they made the status public. That means anyone on the internet, they can see your status. That's a public access modifier. The real scenario I'm showing where they have used the public. So this is the real usage of public keyword. So public means you can access it everywhere, right? See that I can make the class as a public. So this is the access modifier. This is the class keyword, and this is the class name. See class name, first letter, cap letter. And the variables I'm declaring. See even variable also I made public. Even the method also I made public, my own customized method, public void display method. So this is the public method, public variable, public class. So first you're starting with the access modifier only. Syntax also you can frame if you know these keywords. Access modifier, class, class name. That's a class structure. You can easily remember the class structure also. If you miss also, you can, if you remember the structure, and you can write automatically without any mistakes. See, curly bracket starts and curly bracket ends. See, class inside, I told you the members, right? Yesterday I told you class inside, you can write a members, variables, methods, constructors, blocks, but we didn't write here constructors and blocks, but we have written only variables and method only we have written. So it's optional, right? That's how you can do that. And okay, so that's the public means. So even outside package also you can use these public things. You can use even see another class also I can use here. Why I can use? Because it's a public. See, I can use public class. I'm creating an object for that class. So I'll explain this object. Don't worry. I'll tell this later. Object creation. So just showing. See, this class I can use anywhere because of more visibility. Because of public only, this class got the visibility. So because of public only, this leg count got a visibility. Because of public only, this display method got visibility. See, you can access that. So this object reference dot leg count 4, and in this object reference dot display method. You are calling even another class also. That's a visibility is more when you give a public keyword for the class, method, variable, and constructor. Okay. So any questions?
No, sir.
Clear? Okay. So let's move on default access modifier. So if you do not specify any modifier keyword for class, method, variable, and constructor, then by default, it's a default access modifier. That means blank. Access modifier place, just blank is there. Then that meaning is it's a default access modifier. How can you recognize a default access modifier? So in the access modifier syntax, the first access modifier only, right? There, if it is a blank, that means it's a default access modifier. You should not write any modifier keyword. No modifier keyword written. Like for public, you have public keyword. But for default, are you going to write a default keyword? No. So you should not write it. Just leave it blank. Then that is treated as a default access modifier. What is mean by this? Default access modifier are accessible within the same package. So in one package, you created a default class, default method, default variables, and default constructor. Same package only can access, not outside the package. That means restriction is applied, right? Restriction is applied or not? Are you guys there?
Yes, sir.
So this the default means in the same package only can access, not in another package. Suppose here, suppose you created here. Yesterday you created here in the default class. Where you can access in this class only, in this package only, any class you can access, but not outside the method programs and variable packages you cannot access. These packages you cannot access. Default access modifier related classes, methods, variables, and constructors. In the same package only you can access. That's a default means. Wherever you created default, in that package only, in any class you can use same package, but not outside the package. Clear? That's what friends. So you set this status to only to friends. That means only your friends can see who is on the Facebook. So if you make the status visible for friends, then only status will be visible to your friends only, not your friends' friends, not everyone on the Facebook. They cannot see this status. If you set as a status as a friends, that means this is the default access modifier. Only restricted, you're restricting to your friends only. This is the default access modifier they have used for this status. Clear? So this is how you see default. Why it is a default? Class keyword before nothing is there. See, void keyword before nothing is there. That's a default. That's how you can recognize it's a default. Everybody clear on this point? Default. I heard you are struggling here to understand the default. Still
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
clear now?
Yes, sir.
See that? See, class keyword before nothing is, that means this is a default class. See, you have to remember this syntaxes: default access modifier variable. See, access modifier, static, data type, variable name equal to value semicolon. And so that's access modifier is blank. I started with the static keyword only. See here, static keyword. Then data type is integer. Variable name is 5. So this is assignment operator. Then 5 is the value. See? So if you remember this syntax, easily you can tell in this line what is what. So now you can tell easily what is the access modifier in this line?
Default.
Default.
Default. So what is the data type?
Integer.
Int.
What is the variable name?
5, sir.
What is the value?
5.
5.
See that everything is mapped properly. It is mapped. So there is no confusion also. If you have confusion, let me know. Okay. See that access modifier is the default, static keyword, data type. So variable name and value. So that's how you can easily recognize what is what. If you know this syntax, if you know this syntax, it's a dead easy to remember that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now, so that's the how you can make so so easily if you remember these syntaxes. That's a default access. See the default class I created, default static variable, default non-static variable. This is the non-static variable. So I'm going to cover these variables. I hope they covered already, but again, I'm going to cover here. So default static method. See that? Access modifier, static, void, method name, parentheses, curly bracket, this one. See here, the access modifier is blank. Static, void, method name, parentheses, logic plus statement. So you got right. See, everything is clearly, see, method name is M2, parentheses, curly bracket, logic plus. So this is how you can write a all default, where you can access all these things in the same package. Any class. For example, in the package, you have 5 classes. All 5 classes, if you need this I variable, you can access in another class also. If you want this one, you can access because this is a default, same package you can access. So this permission is for the same package, not for outside the package. So next, are we clear on the default?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir, please.
Okay, next, private access modifier. Let's move on to the private. Anybody not able to understand, please ask me and stop me. So no need to hesitate. Okay, so private access modifier. So what is private access modifier? Okay, so private access modifier. Okay, so when variables, constructors, and methods are declared as a private, only these 3 things you will declare as a private, not class. Class cannot be declared as a private. So they cannot be accessed outside of the class. When you declare a private variables, constructors, and methods, where you can access them in the same class only. Private means nobody can see them. Only you can see, that's it. That's the private. At least remember like that. Completely private means only you, not anybody else. That's a private. So they cannot be accessed outside of the class. Class can't be declared private. If you make this status as a private, it's only visible for you, not for anybody. Only me means it's a private access modifier applied for this. No one can see this status except you. That's a private access modifier. See that? Class can be any type. Class can be either public or default only. Class cannot be a private, cannot be a protected. So see, class, say a variable I'm declaring as a private. See, access modifier, data type, variable name. Just a declaration. This is just a variable declaration. So that's the private variable. And let's see here. See, private variable, private static int I equal to 10. Private static void M2. So L plus S. So that's the private. So last one is protected access modifier. When methods, constructors, and variables you can declare as a protected. Same as a class, same as a private. Private is only visible within the class only, not outside the class. But protected is, it's a different. You can declare variables, methods, and constructors as a protected, but you can access them same package any class, and outside package also you can access if you apply the inheritance oops concept. So subclasses also, subclass means inheritance. Subclasses you can access these protected variables, protected methods, protected constructors. If you make this status visible for friends or friends of friends, then all the people, your friends also can see your status. That's this is the protected access modifier they applied for this status. That's a real examples, and you all using Facebook if you're using, and that's the concept. Anyway, I'm not using that, but so that's all this we have seen. So right, then see protected variable, protected method, this one. Protected void method name. This is protected. Even variable also you can declare protected. See, class can be only either public or default. Class can be either public or default. So that's the this. So definition of protected. So where you can access protected? In the same package, any class, like a default. Even outside a package also possible if you apply inheritance. Simple words you remember, no need to by heart also. Protected means same package, any class you can access. And outside a package also possible if you apply inheritance concept. Outside package also you can access that, that's the meaning. See that here the table we have given very clearly. See private, within the class only, yes. Within the package, no permission. So you cannot access private related members. So outside package, no. Outside subclasses, no. So default, within the class, yes. Within the package, yes. In the subclasses, no. Outside package, no. Package protected. So within the class, yes. Within the package, yes. Subclasses, yes. Outside package, no. So public, all yes. Everywhere you can access public. Okay. So that's all about this access modifiers and non-access modifiers. Please go and read them and come back. I'm just stopping here.